Hello, friends. How you doing today? So I wanted to record this kind of presentation or this single slide really because I get asked all the time, right? What's the keys to one rental at a time? How do I do it? How do I get my first rental property? So I talk about it all the time, but I created a graphic that I hope helps because I think sometimes we overcomplicate how to get our first rental property, and it's hard for me to create a single video that captures all of the various ways people can get started. So I'm just going to start with the basics, and we're going to go through this picture together. I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching these videos, do me a favor and subscribe. I know it's a vanity metric, but I need to feel and understand that I'm helping folks. So getting those subscriptions tell me that people are watching. Also getting likes tell me that that video particularly was interesting to you. So smash that like button, as Graham Stephan always says. And then lastly, I like comments, both for just that video and what you thought, but an important part of this channel is I have subscriber questions. So if you have a question and you couldn't ask someone else, put it down and I'll do my best to get to it. So in this video, we're just going to share this real quick and we'll just go ahead and talk about it. So when I think about getting to your first rental property, there's really 5 kind of key steps. And again, I'm going to go through this in general, but understand that you can put yourself on this. And as you'll hopefully see in the slides, it's not really serial. I think there's a couple of things you do maybe at the beginning and the end that are kind of results or requirements, but as you'll see, it doesn't have to always be in the same order. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So in order to get to your first rental property, I think there's 5 things you should do. And again, it's hard for me to sort of put this out there that covers everyone, but I'll do my best. You need to sort of assess where you are, right? What do you have going for you? Do you have a day job? Do you have good credit? Do you have savings? Do you have skills or experience? Do you live in a location that makes sense? Have you done your homework and learned your market, right? What have you done to put yourself in the best position? Because something I teach all my students is you shouldn't really be making offers until you understand what a bad, average, good, or great deal is. If you're excited and interested and you look and you make an offer first day, you're gambling. And you're not an investor, you're just gambling. I really do think new investors, especially when you're going from 0 to 1, I think you need to protect yourself and you need to learn your market and you need to figure out what a good or great deal is. So I talk about that a lot. It's something that I think too many people skip over in their eagerness to get started. So again, figure out where you are, right? Credit, down payment, your income, where you live, what skill sets you have, what your network look like, all that basic stuff, because that's, you have to know where you are in order to know where you're going. Next up, I typically think there's 2 things that need to happen, and they can happen in parallel as diagrammed here. They do not and should not happen serially, right? You don't do one and then the other. I think both take time for most people. If you're lucky enough to come into this situation having a down payment, great, check that box, you're done. But most people, they need 3, 6, 12 months to save for that down payment. And that's okay. What you should be doing while you are saving more, hopefully earning more, saving more, and then getting ready to invest, is you need to learn your market, right? I just keep picking on the same thing in all my videos, but you can choose what's right for you, right? What's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage produce in my market, right? Is it producing a 6% return? And thus, if I can find an 8 or 9, it's a deal, right? It's on sale. Or is everything a 4 and finding a 6 is a sale, right? I don't know. Everybody lives in different markets. The cycle is different. So again, I think most people, after assessing where you are, the 2 big things that most people, when they're going from 0 to 1, need to do is save for the down payment, which again, reduce your expenses. That's the fastest way to get there. You can also earn more income. But you also need to learn your market. I think too many people skip over that. They go look at the realtor.com or Redfin or Zillow or whatever, and they call an agent and they go, here's 3 properties, pick one. That's gambling. I really do recommend you learn your market and figure out where you're at and get focused. And if you really want to know what Get Focused looks like, go back and watch a video with Keisha and Ryan, where they talk about how one rental at a time really helped them create focus and increase quality deal flow. It's a big deal. You should check out their interview. But okay, so after you saved your down payment and got to learn your market, you need to figure out your buying criteria. And this really comes out of the fact that you've learned your market. So if your market is a 6, and I just pick on that in all my videos to stay the same, when you find your buying criteria, you could say, hey, I need a 6.5 or greater. Because 90% of the stuff in the MLS, maybe 95 or even 98, depending on the market, is not on sale. It's listed at list price. And you don't get rich in real estate paying list price for stuff. You need to figure out what makes sense for you and figure out your buying criteria and moving forward. So again, by taking the course and understand what's going on, you'll know this, but you need to have your buying criteria. And again, I have no judgment what your buying criteria is. Maybe you only want yellow houses with odd numbered street addresses. Who am I to say that that's the wrong idea? But you need to have your buying criteria, because when you have your buying criteria, you can do the final step, and that is write offers, right? And you should only write offers that hit your buying criteria, right? If you only want yellow houses with odd street addresses, don't write offers on blue houses. Don't write offers on evens. And that's obviously meant to be funny, but whatever your buying criteria is, write offers that make sense. If your buying criteria is $150 cash flow, great. Well, then don't pay list price if it's only $100 cash flow. Offer less. So again, I think these are the 5 things that everybody needs to do. You need to assess where you are, be honest. Typically, the biggest things that happen next is saving for a down payment and learning your market. If you're blessed enough to come into this with the down payment, great, check that box, but you still need to learn your market. Don't burn a hole in your pocket. Sometimes people come in with cash and then they're just in a rush to deploy it. Please learn your market. After you've done that, establish your buying criteria, and then only write offers that make sense for your buying criteria, whether it's the yellow house with odd street addresses or the $150 a month or the 5% yield, whatever that is. So in the end, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you today, right? If you're a new investor on Zero, where are you at in that cycle? Have you saved for the down payment? Have you learned your market? Are you writing offers? What's going on? I'd love to hear from you. And, in the end, that's what I really think it takes. I think going from 0 to 1 rental is the hardest thing. Going from 1 to 2 is significantly easier. And then going from 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 is it just becomes like buying shoes at some point. But again, it always comes down to knowing your market, understanding your buying criteria. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're stuck on Zero and I missed something, tell me. Leave a comment below and maybe I'll create another video to help you out. So hope that makes sense. You have a great day. Good luck getting your first rental.